The dig site in Antarctica had been secret for 3 years. Dr. Marcus Webb stood at the edge of the massive hole, watching his team work below. They had found something impossible. A structure made of black metal, buried under 2 miles of ice. The metal was older than humanity itself. Carbon dating suggested it was 4 billion years old. That was before life even existed on Earth. Marcus climbed down the ladder carefully. His breath formed clouds in the freezing air. At the bottom, his assistant Sarah Chun waited for him with excitement in her eyes. She held a tablet showing strange symbols that covered the structure's walls. "We finally translated some of it," she said. "This thing is a weapon, Marcus. An ancient weapon left here by beings who visited our solar system long before humans existed." Marcus touched the cold metal. It hummed under his fingers like a sleeping giant. What kind of weapon could last 4 billion years? Sarah looked at her tablet again. Her face became pale. The texts call it a cleaner. It was designed to remove intelligent life from planets. The beings who built it used it to eliminate species they considered threats. Before Marcus could respond, a loud noise came from inside the structure. A section of the wall slid open. Marcus felt his heart stop. Standing in the doorway was General Viktor Kozlov, a Russian military commander known for his extreme views. Behind him stood 12 armed soldiers. "Thank you for finding this, Dr. Webb," Viktor said with a cold smile. "Mother Russia appreciates your hard work. Now step away from the weapon." Marcus did not move. "How did you know about this place?" "We have watched your operation from the beginning. Your government is too weak to use such power. But Russia is not afraid." Viktor walked past Marcus and entered the structure. His soldiers followed. The inside of the structure was a single large room. In the center stood a pillar of the same black metal. Symbols glowed on its surface with soft blue light. Viktor approached it like a man approaching a holy object. "Don't touch it," Marcus shouted. "We don't know what it does. We don't know how to control it." Viktor laughed. "Control is simple, Doctor. I will point it at my enemies and watch them burn." He placed his hand on the pillar. The effect was immediate. The blue glow turned bright red. A deep sound filled the room, so low that Marcus felt it in his bones rather than heard it. The ground shook. Viktor tried to pull his hand away, but could not. His eyes went wide with fear. A voice spoke. It came from everywhere at once. It spoke in a language that was not human, but somehow Marcus understood every word. Activation sequence initiated. Target identified as dominant intelligent species of Planet 3. Cleansing will begin in 7 planetary rotations. This process cannot be stopped. The red glow faded. Viktor stumbled backward, finally free from the pillar. His face was white with terror. "What have you done?" Sarah screamed at him. Viktor's soldiers raised their weapons, but their hands were shaking. One of them, a young man barely 20 years old, dropped his rifle and ran. Viktor did not try to stop him. Marcus grabbed Viktor by his jacket. "You heard it, 7 days. You just killed everyone on Earth." Viktor pushed him away. "There must be a way to stop it." "There is always a way." "Did you hear the voice?" It said the process cannot be stopped. Marcus turned to Sarah. "We need to contact every government on Earth. Every scientist. If there is any chance at all, we need to find it together." The next 12 hours were chaos. The news spread across the world faster than any virus. People panicked. Riots broke out in major cities. Religious groups claimed it was the end times. Some people gave up immediately and waited for death. But others refused to accept their fate. In Washington, D.C., President Amanda Torres called an emergency meeting of the world's leaders. For the first time in history, every nation agreed to work together. Scientists from every country shared their research without secrets. Old enemies became partners overnight. Marcus and Sarah were brought to a secret facility in Nevada. The best minds on Earth gathered there. They had the original texts from the structure, and they worked day and night to understand them. On the second day, A physicist from Japan named Dr. Yuki Tanaka made a discovery. The cleaner does not destroy life directly, she explained to the group. It sends a signal that disrupts the electrical patterns in intelligent brains. When the countdown ends, every thinking creature on Earth will simply stop thinking. Their brains will shut down. Can we block the signal? Asked a German engineer. The signal has not been sent yet. When it is sent, it will come from the structure in Antarctica. It will cover the entire planet in seconds. There is no technology on Earth that can block it. Silence filled the room. People looked at each other with hopeless eyes. Then an old man in the back raised his hand. His name was Professor David Okonkwo from Nigeria. He had spent his life studying human evolution. Perhaps we are thinking about this wrong, he said in a calm voice. The weapon was designed to eliminate intelligent species. But what makes us intelligent? Is it our brains alone, or is it something more? Dr. Tanaka considered his words. The texts describe intelligence as organized electrical patterns, complex thought, self-awareness. Professor Okonkwo nodded. Then perhaps the answer is not in blocking the signal, but in changing what the signal targets. Marcus felt something click in his mind. You mean changing ourselves? Making our brains work differently? Exactly. The weapon was built 4 billion years ago. It was designed for species that existed at that time. But humans are unique. We evolved differently. Our brains have features that those ancient species did not have. Sarah pulled up images on her tablet. He might be right. Human brains have a region called the neocortex that is unusually large. It handles our most advanced thinking. But our older brain regions handle survival instincts and emotions. Those regions work differently. On the 4th day, the team had a theory. The cleaner signal targeted organized, logical thought patterns. But human emotions were not logical. They were chaotic, unpredictable, and operated on a different kind of electrical pattern. If humans could shift their brain activity from the neocortex to the older emotional centers, they might survive the signal. The problem was how to make that shift happen. Meditation could work for some people, but there was not enough time to teach 8 billion humans to meditate. They needed something faster. A young neuroscientist from Brazil named Dr. Carlos Mendez proposed a solution. Sound frequencies can influence brain activity. We can broadcast a specific sound pattern that will temporarily shift brain function to the emotional centers. People will experience intense emotions for a few minutes, but they will survive. Building the broadcast system became a global effort. Every radio tower, every television station, every cell phone network was connected to a central hub. Musicians and engineers worked together to create the sound pattern. It had to reach every corner of the earth. On the 6th day, Viktor Kozlov appeared at the Nevada facility. He looked broken. His arrogance was gone, replaced by guilt and shame. "I came to help," he said quietly. "I know you have no reason to trust me, but I want to do something useful before the end." Marcus stared at him for a long moment. Then he handed Victor a tablet. "We need someone to coordinate the broadcast in eastern Russia. The satellite links there are weak. You know that region better than anyone." Victor took the tablet with trembling hands. "I will not fail this time." The morning of the 7th day arrived. People around the world gathered with their families. They held hands. They hugged. They told each other things they had been too afraid to say before. Love filled the air alongside fear. At exactly noon, Greenwich Mean Time, the structure in Antarctica sent its signal. A wave of invisible energy spread across the planet. It took only 11 seconds to reach every corner of Earth. At the same moment, the global broadcast began. A sound filled the air, deep and primal. It reached into people's minds and pulled at their hearts. Memories flooded through them. Joy, sorrow, love, anger. Every emotion they had ever felt came rushing back at once. People cried. People laughed. Strangers embraced on the streets. The walls between nations and religions fell away for those precious minutes. There was only feeling, pure and raw and beautiful. The cleaner's signal passed through their brains and found nothing to target. The organized thought patterns it was designed to destroy were temporarily silent. Only chaos remained, the wonderful chaos of human emotion. When the broadcast ended, there was silence. Then slowly, people began to speak again. They were alive. Their thoughts returned, clear and sharp. The weapon had failed. In Antarctica, the structure went dark. Its purpose had been fulfilled, or so it believed. The dominant intelligent species of Earth had been eliminated. It did not understand that humans had simply stepped aside for a moment, letting their hearts lead while their minds rested. The celebrations lasted for weeks, but something had changed in humanity. They had seen how quickly their differences could disappear when they faced a common threat. They had felt connected to 8 billion strangers in a way that words could not describe. Marcus Webb stood at the edge of the pit in Antarctica, watching as scientists from every nation worked together to study the structure. This time, there were no secrets, no national interests. Just humans, curious and determined, reaching toward the stars. Sarah stood beside him. Do you think they're still out there? The beings who built this? Maybe. But if they are, they made a mistake. They thought intelligence was about logic and patterns. They did not count on the chaos, the beautiful chaos. Marcus smiled. Exactly. They did not count on hearts that could make minds go quiet. They did not count on love strong enough to save a world. Somewhere in the frozen structure, hidden sensors detected unusual readings. The cleaner had never encountered a species that survived its signal. New data was being collected. New reports were being sent to destinations far beyond human understanding. The universe was watching humanity now. And for the first time in 4 billion years, it was impressed. Viktor Kozlov stayed in Antarctica for the rest of his life. He helped guard the structure and made sure no one would ever activate it again. It was his way of making peace with what he had done. Some people never forgave him. But Marcus understood that even the worst mistakes could lead to something better. The world was not perfect after that day. Problems remained. But people remembered the feeling of connection they had shared. They remembered that their hearts had saved them when nothing else could. And when children asked their parents about the 7 days that almost ended everything, the parents would smile and say the same thing. Humanity survived because love is stronger than logic. And chaos is harder to kill than order. The universe may be vast and cold, but in one small corner of it, there burns a fire that even ancient weapons cannot put out. That fire is called humanity, and it will burn forever.